Hi, this is Austin White with the Birdhouse Podcast, and I'm here with Mr. Potter, the Vice Principal. And could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm the associate principal at Mayoral High School, and I am happy to be here after a year off of no homecoming at a homecoming activity.
Speaking of homecoming, we've got a couple questions about it. When is the homecoming dance?
The dance. The dance is on October 2nd, I believe. That's a Saturday.
Yep.
And I think it's at, I think the dance starts at 7:30. $5 gets you in the door.
When is the homecoming football game?
The football game is the same day, October 2nd. And the football game, I can't remember the exact time, probably around 1 o'clock or 1:30. And there's a parade that will precede that. There will be people in the parking lot after the parade, grilling brats and kind of tailgating. And the Silver M, you know what the Silver M is?
I do not.
Silver M is the football club. So football players and former football players of the Mayoral Blue Jays, I should say former football players, once they get X number of years out, are inducted into the Silver M Club. It's one of the only of its kind that I'm aware of.
When is Powder Puff, and how much will it cost?
Powder Puff is Wednesday the 29th, and I believe it's at 7 o'clock. It's $2 to get into the game.
What is Powder Puff for students that don't know what that is?
Good question. Powder Puff is the girls' chance to get out on the gridiron, Jay Stadium, and show that they can play football as well. It's the juniors playing against the seniors, and it gets pretty intense. Neither side wants to lose because it's a one-game season, and so until the seniors graduate, you might say, it lingers. Whoever wins, whoever loses, lingers.
Now, speaking of it lingering and the chance of winning, there were some allegations that the seniors have an advantage or have always had an advantage. Is that true, or is that a myth?
I would say that's true on account just because they're seniors. Not that they possess any illegal knowledge, or illegal's kind of a strong word for that. I don't want to imply that there's any dishonesty going on or anything like that, but I figure a year of life in this world gives a person an advantage over a person that has had less years in this world. So older guys like me, well, you can figure that out. Seniors have the advantage because they're seniors.
And then, what is the Bonfire, and does that cost anything?
The Bonfire is totally free. That's on Friday night, so that would be the first. And generally they light it up at dusk. And so if you haven't been to the Bonfire, so I'm not a Mayoral native, and so I remember the first time that I got to go to the Bonfire up close, and so I picture Bonfire, like wearing my hands like right here. That's not what this is. The camera probably isn't going to pick this up, but like we're standing under I think it's a spruce tree in front of an old schoolhouse here, and if you were to look at the circumference of the base of the edge of the branches of this spruce tree, you're talking about flames in that vicinity. So it's a large bonfire. You got to stand back a little bit so you don't get sunburned or cooked, but a lot of people come that are both students and just community members, and just hang out and socialize.
Why is the Bonfire so important to the Mayoral community? Because, as you said, community members regularly go to it. Why is it such an important event?
One word: tradition. Sometimes I think traditions don't have to make sense in that they serve some unique or special function. Rather, their function simply as tradition. And if I were to just expand on that a little bit, I worked here 1 year before Mr. Murray got here. And then when he came here, the previous administration was not Mayoral alumni. And Mr. Murray's a Mayoral High School graduate, and so when he came back here, probably 2006, I think that was, when he came back here, it was a high priority to him to bring back traditions that he remembered as a Mayoral High School graduate, as a Mayoral High School student, I should say. And so the Bonfire was one of those things. Because I think this place, like I said, I was just here 1 year before Mr. Murray, but I think it got pretty watered down in terms of the richness of the tradition, that I think a lot of it had been lost or just wasn't being practiced. And so I give Mr. Murray a lot of credit for bringing that back. And again, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but some traditional things are cool just because they're traditional things and for no other reason.
That makes perfect sense to me, and I also don't know any other school that has a 12-foot bonfire as their tradition.
Can I add one more thing? I have 4 kids, and I'm just on the north side of Wasson. So my kids are in that district, not here. Too bad for them. But I brought one of them 1 year, and they were picturing Bonfire like I was originally picturing, and they were startled as to what was going on. Yeah.
Seeing it be lit is a very interesting process. What events are there next week during the homecoming week?
During the school day?
Mm-hmm.
So during the school day, we don't have classes on Monday. That's an in-service day for the teaching staff. But on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we've got mostly dress-up days going on. I'd have to look at my notes to remember which day is which, but one of them is like a decades or distinction day. Thursday, okay. In which each class has 80s, 60s, 70s, and 90s, I think, are the 4 decades being represented. So they'll dress up like one of those. I think Tuesday is twin day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had an offer from Ms. Holtz, because once upon a time, Ms. Holtz portrayed me in the staff skit, and she still has the clothes to do that, so we might be twins that day. Let's see, Friday is Spirit Day, where you wear your blue and white to just represent that you're all Blue Jays. And what are we forgetting? Colors.
Wednesday is the class colors.
Color day. So seniors are black, juniors are blue, sophomores are red, and freshmen white, I believe.
I believe that as well.
What'll be happening with each of those dress-up days, at least Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, is during third period advisory, right at the beginning, everyone dressed up on that day will come down to the Commons. We'll do a PA announcement. They'll come down to the Commons, and then the class banners, which are being constructed right over here right now, will be hanging in the Commons. And so the students from each class will all stand in front of their banner, and then one of us will be taking pictures, and then one, it's nice to have a picture, and two, then the count can be done because there's participation points by being dressed up.
Are there any important things that the student should be aware of, either during homecoming, during the week, or after homecoming?
Yes. One, homecoming's only fun if you participate. And so participation, even for the people that do participate, if the participation levels are low, even for those that are there, it's not as much fun as it could be. So I just encourage students, you don't know what the future holds. And, 3 years ago, nobody would have predicted that we'd miss an entire year of doing things like this. And who knows what happens next year. But here and now, we have it. So it's at hand, and students should enjoy it. And I would encourage people to participate. I would also caution people to participate in a safe manner. I don't want to be lectury about that, but sometimes people celebrate in ways, especially for people that are under 21, in ways that are detrimental to the event and to themselves. So I hope students will be safe and be smart and be a good example. I really look... earlier in this interview, I kind of mentioned that the seniors have an advantage. I think we were talking about powder puff. Mm-hmm. Because seniors, and this is true of all classes, but I really lean on seniors in hoping that they can be role models. Because as you get older and you have more life experiences and more wisdom and more knowledge, I think society expects more of you. And I expect more of people as they go through life in terms of responsibilities. So I hope the senior class can set a good example that way, and I expect that they will. I think they're pretty good people, and so I hope they can lead by example in that way as well.
And do you have any important life advice or just general advice for all of the students this year and of the coming year?
Sure. Advice from an old guy. Um, I can remember my homecoming, Oconto High School, Blue Devils, and I can remember the song that was played, and I can remember the football game, and I can remember all those details quite well. And that was a long time ago. So don't miss it, because those are memories that I'll have until I die probably, and they're good memories. And so don't miss it, because if you're a senior, you already know this is true. For freshmen, maybe it's hard to convince you by words only, but seniors will tell you this goes fast. This goes really fast, and so don't miss it. Enjoy it.
All right, I believe that concludes this interview, and let's go seniors.
Hey, you mind if we move over by the building, because this tree here, it's kind of shady.
That's all, folks.